If you can hear the call of the water, it is already too late. Hello everyone and welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. Today's video is the They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Monroe book review. This is a Netgalley ARC that I received back in February, and it is so far my favourite thing that I've received off Netgalley. Basically, we're following a family, a multi-generational curse that has gone awry. So basically, at the very beginning in the prologue, I'm going to say it's not spoilery because it's like the first page, a woman from this family line tries to put a curse on a male from the family line, and it just backfires. And now this complete family line of women are under this curse. A curse which keeps calling them back to Cape Disappointment and into the ocean. Now, I hate the ocean. I'm going to say it now. I do not like the ocean. And reading books, particularly suspense horror, which is what I would classify this as, or gothic suspense horror, makes me so uneasy. I was so tense reading this book because these women are being called into the ocean, and every time I'm like, don't do it, don't go into the ocean, that's not good, why are you doing that? And it got me nearly every time that those things happen. They keep getting drawn, they're hearing voices, and they just go in, and they shouldn't go into the ocean. That being said, this book is designed to make you tense, and it absolutely did that. I was tense the entire time. If you are someone who likes a seaside or a coastal based horror where that suspense is built up really slowly, then you're going to love this book. They say the Cape is haunted. They told the girls to stay away, and yet time and time again they are drawn to Cape Disappointment and into the ocean. Basically centers around three people or three generations. So we have Judith and her daughter Meredith, and then her granddaughter Alice. Meredith is having some marital problems with her wife, and she thinks, well, I don't really have anywhere to go, so I'll go to my mum in Cape Disappointment, and for some reason she's being drawn back to the Cape. So she takes her daughter Alice, and they go and visit the mum to live with the mum for a little while. Almost immediately, strange things start to happen and call both her and her daughter into the ocean. So Judith is terrified of the ocean. She always has been, and it has caused a lot of tension between her and Meredith, and now her and her granddaughter, as she tries to make sure these girls do not go near the sea at all. She's focused on an old lighthouse which must have the light on at all times to keep these girls safe from the water. So basically she's telling her granddaughter that absolutely no, we cannot go near the beach, we cannot go near the sand, we cannot go near the beach, we cannot go near the ocean. And Meredith is all like, it's fine, just take the child to the sea. And Judith is like, you do not understand. Also, can you go fix a light, because that needs to be on or we're all doomed. So Meredith goes up to the lighthouse, and then the child Alice starts hearing the call of the mermaid in the sea. Now, me talking about it, that may seem a little silly, it may seem a little juvenile, but it absolutely is not. This author has done a really good job in making this beach and this cape super creepy. I can't give you too much more without going into spoilers. You'll have to go check out the book, and I do recommend They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Monroe. Let's jump into what I thought about it. The atmospheric build-up of this book, coupled with a dark oceanic setting, worked really well to build tension, particularly for someone who doesn't like the ocean very much. We're immediately placed in this coastal town, which used to be bustling with tourism, but is now kind of desolate. Think coastal towns like Midnight Mass, which came out on Netflix last year, where you've got a really small, tight-knit community, everything's sort of desolate, everything is sort of breaking down because tourism is just not a thing anymore, and they're just making enough to sort of meet their basic human needs. It was the prose in this book. This town was described beautifully, but almost unassumingly. It wasn't overly detailed because the fear behind the ocean is what really draws the reader into the book. The pacing was phenomenal in this book. Now, I gave this book a 3.5 because, there are things that could have been tweaked, like most things, but the pacing here was a standout for me. It was very slow paced, but it was done so to build up that tension, and it does so well. The reader is encouraged to sit in the setting, to sit in the tension, to sit in the suspense and the feelings that are being laid throughout each chapter. There are flashbacks in this book, not only to Judith as a child, which makes up a big part of the book and where her fear has come from, but also to other generations that have come beforehand, which build up the idea of the curse. It shows us how the curse has affected generation to generation and how it sort of adapted and molded the lives of these women as we go through, and we're dealing with the current generation of Meredith and Alice. But because this is done so slowly, it really adds to the depth of the suspense, and it encourages the reader to draw their own conclusions about the curse, which may or may not come true. There was a twist in this book which I didn't see coming, and the foreshadowing in hindsight is there if you're looking at it, but I was taken by surprise, maybe because I just didn't want to be near the ocean. I don't know, it was creepy. The plot itself was simple. That being said, the author has done a very good job of layering the stories across these multiple generations of one family to build knowledge, characters, and heart rates as we work to the climax. This is going to be a book for readers who like a slow, atmospheric plot. If you like your horror with jump scares and a quick thrill, this one's probably not going to be for you. But if you like suspense where it's not necessarily scary, but quite tense, then you're going to have a good time with They Drown Our Daughters. If you like the sound of this one, They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Monroe is going to be available from the 12th of July, I believe, this year. And it's one to add to the TBR for my slow suspense gothic horror lovers out there. That's it for this one, everyone. If you like the content, give it one of these. If you want to see more of it, then click subscribe at your will, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.